Another beautiful day in Edmonton, Alberta. Well, tonight, thank you folks for tuning in to Transforming Your Relationship. I'm your host, Bonitto Grange, and we have a beautiful couple here by the name of Ben and Maureen. We're just going to quiz them a little bit. They were clients and they've been going through some series here just a little while ago. So we're going to tune into them, and then we're going to hopefully have enough time to go into our topic that we'll be talking about tonight, which is decision making in your relationship. So, Ben and Marie, thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
You're welcome.
These
Thanks
folks
for
are,
having us.
yeah, these folks are from Toronto, Ontario.
Yeah.
And so, what's it like down there in the what's it like down there in Toronto?
Well,
Very hot.
it's hot, humid.
What's hot down there?
Well, the weather more.
The weather.
Are we talking 20 degrees, 30 degrees, 40 degrees?
We're talking 30.
30
30
in
degrees.
the 30s, 30, 35.
Yeah.
So that sounds like 30, 35, and humid if I know Toronto.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, today I'll stick to my plus 19 degrees for now.
We can switch if you want. We have no issues with that.
No, I'm good. I can even ride my motorcycle here at 19 degrees.
Oh, there you go.
So glad to have you here again. Yeah, just so tell us a little bit about yourself, before you started coaching with me, what was going on in your relationship, what transpired during our sessions, what's life like with you right now. So who wants to start before you made that call? What was going on?
For me, thanks for having me on. For me, I always know that there's more to a relationship than what I was getting.
Okay.
So they're constantly talking about it. There were no really change. And each time when I would talk, it would maybe more turn into an argument instead of sit and asking how I'm doing or anything. It would just like, I'm just miserable. I'm just making noise. That's how it was. So I talk to family, I talk to friends about, and that's how I end up knowing about you through family members. So I know what I want, and I know what I wasn't getting. So I was gonna try to see if I can get it. So if I wasn't getting it through that, I was gonna make my decision. So by coming to you, um, first I should say, I'm a Christian. I'm a strong believer in God. I try to walk in His way, and I pray all the time for changes. And as I said, it wasn't happening. But I believe when we meet with you, I could see where lights. There was a light, like that darkness kind of start to move.
Okay.
I could have speak a little bit, still resistant, but when if I say something, I won't get that that look. All right, would know what to expect then. So but by true talking with you, I realized that I have a voice. I need to talk. I can't stay silent, because if I stay silent, I'm not gonna, I'm not releasing my true self. So
That's what you said. The ladies need to hear that. I have a voice.
yes, I have a voice. So I decided I wasn't gonna just sit and just take what it is. So I keep on, I keep on pressing, and I keep on would saying demanding. I demand what I want. And if this is not happening, we have to do something about it. And by me saying that, I started to check me and started to listen, and started to listen to more program about self and loving.
Yes.
Loving, and loving yourself. And as you say, I go back in the Bible and listen to what God said.
Right.
you know, about love.
Mm,
And I'm saying to myself, if I have to start loving me, because who's gonna love me if I don't love me? You know,
I like
I
that.
want to be happy with me for somebody to be happy with it. So now what I did, I
Hmm.
kind of tried to shift the focus now and start to look into stuff what I can do.
Okay.
I started to find a program to put myself in.
Hmm.
So my mind is not just focused on what he's not doing
Right.
or what I want and what is what I supposed to be doing.
Okay.
So I started focusing more on church, more on, as I said, go out, looking at things, upgrading myself, be a better me.
Nice.
I try to be that. So do self-awareness now. How I put myself, how do I speak to others? Because
Mhm.
that was one of what my husband used to always say to me. There's somebody else in the room. You can't just say what you think and somebody won't get hurt. So when I go back the God way, I realize that no, these are things you have to worry about. You have to know how you show up. And you teach me that too, saying that every day, how do you show up? You have
Right.
to show up when you wake up in the morning.
Hmm.
Thank you, Jesus. When we wake up in the morning, we have to plan the day what we want.
Right. Right.
It's not the day plan us. So if
Hmm.
you get up and know that this day, devil, you can't have it, that's what is going to happen.
Mm.
So those are the things I find was making me stronger, walking away, seeing I could come, I could hug him, I could hug my husband,
Okay.
and did not. First time I would like, don't even, I don't even bother because
I was
he
going
would.
to ask you what if you weren't hugging them before. But then
When I come home, I was much more happy with myself of my
beautiful. Yeah.
accomplishment of what I'm doing, and I could come in a conversation. I could tell him, "See what I did, do what." So I find I was more happier. I come, I hug him, and we talk more, and I'm
Nice.
like, "Wow, this is good." Finding me, it helped me to open up as I would say, that darkness, that sadness, that what, because I was sitting down waiting for maybe him to fix those things. He
Hmm.
couldn't fix them for me.
That's what
So
you should.
when I have to do it for myself, so by me doing it, and I can't talk for him, but
He's going to talk.
not like I couldn't say what he think. I don't know, or if he sees these things, what I'm saying, but there, even last night he said something to me. I could make him say that, and I could see that shift of
Okay.
of like first time I would never do that. I was more because this relationship, as I said, it wasn't the loving, it wasn't the
Connection
what
wasn't.
I expect in a marriage.
Okay.
Because I think when we're growing up, we have the dolly house. Girl. I know the prettiness. I know husband's supposed to come home and do this, whatever. I was getting none of that. You know. I work and I pay this and I whatever. What else do you want? This is your duty. This is not what you do here. I want you here. I want you to talk to. I want you to sit on the couch with me. I want you to watch TV with me. I don't care what program I'm watching. Stay there for a few minutes and
Presence.
even
You want
now,
presence. You
and
want
even
presence.
now he's watching my program and enjoying it even more than me.
Oh my goodness. Now we have a challenge. So Marie, what if you had to point out one thing? I hear what you're saying. I just want to hear it from you again. What do you think was your biggest shift that caused that caused you to create that connection that you never had before? I heard it, but I want you to say it so others can hear.
I think I said so much shift in me.
Okay, absolutely. You said you noticed a shift in you. And did you realize that as you noticed a shift in you, because you said you started to work on you,
Yes.
as you started to work on you, um,
I
did you
mean more
start to now
happy.
notice the difference? in,
Mhm.
in Ben, from what you're saying, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I like a lot of wives that's out there, or husbands. It could be vice versa. We're more focused on the other one, on the other individual, because from what you're saying at first, you was basically focused a lot on him, which took the eyes off of yourself.
Yeah.
Now you start to love yourself better. You start to get to know you better,
Yeah.
which now creates a deeper bond or a better bond than what you had before. And
Yeah.
so it's beautiful to hear that. Beautiful to hear that. I want to shift over to Ben. So Ben, before you came in, what was going on with your mind, and how were you showing up? And was this an ultimatum that was given to you, by the way?
Um, well, so I'm gonna start off, and for those fellas like myself out there
Yes, they need to
who
hear that answer.
who love their wives
Yes.
and will do anything for them and know that they're strong and they can take care of themselves,
All right.
right?
Right.
Um, I totally get that, and I think that's what I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
right? For my wife, we always want the best, and sometimes we'll get them the home, we'll get them what they want.
Right.
But there's some subtle stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that you have to be mindful of,
Okay.
right? For example, you
Yes.
know, you're working hard and you come home and you just come home because I'm coming home to my wife. I want to
Mm-hmm.
come after Hardy. I want to come with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I come home and I say hi, give her a kiss and a hug, and I didn't bring like a rose,
Okay.
or I didn't bring a coffee, or
Okay.
I didn't bring something like that, right?
And you're bringing
So
that. You're bringing that.
yeah,
Up, right?
yeah, right.
Just
so
checking, Marie.
so those are so for my fellas out there who are true, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they believe they have a strong woman, right?
Right.
That can hold down the fort, right? So they
Mm-hmm.
can put their attention on making sure that they're okay,
Right.
right?
Right.
Just be mindful that the little things still matters. The little things,
Little things. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just remember that. And if you are not managing those little things, then there'll be comparisons. How
Mm.
come you will every time you're going to see your mom, you take her tangerine drink,
Okay.
and
You don't bring me nothing.
you don't bring me nothing, right? You're my wife. You have me all the time. You're good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So.
We have to be mindful of those things.
Mm.
So and that's just one of the smaller examples, but
Okay.
those small examples mean a lot.
Huge
They mean a
dividends.
huge thing because that will make the make or break, right?
Mm-hmm.
It will. So we have to be mindful of that. And I know fellows out there like myself, we love our wives, right? We love
Absolutely.
them. We love them. It's not, we'll do anything for them,
Yes.
right? But
Yes.
we have to remember the small things. We have to have a balance. You
Mm.
got to be able to come home from work after a hard day and
Mm.
take care of your wife, show her love and affection, and go down that path. Some men may be doing it already,
Mhm.
but you have to do that, right? So those are some of the hiccups that I found in my relationship,
Okay. Okay.
right? Having said that, I didn't realize them until I started having coaching with you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
I thought my wife was good. She's my wife. She's good. She's strong. She can do stuff.
That's
So I
all.
didn't have to. Yeah, I didn't have to. I didn't pay a lot of focus. Put a lot of focus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we start talking about stuff like the rules of the road, right?
Right. Right.
The love languages and so forth, and whether
Mm-hmm.
or not you are compromising versus you're compromising versus committing,
Okay.
and stuff like that, right? Then if you start doing some self realization,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those, and you take all that you've learned in your coaching session, put them all together, you will see the gaps.
Right.
That's what it did for me. It showed me the gaps.
Show the gaps.
Yeah, it showed me the gaps. And then, so what I did with that is then turn it around to say, for example, one of the rules of the road, right, was take turns being the sender. Listen.
Okay.
So she may be saying, "Hey, you're not doing this. You're not doing this. You're not doing." I'm like, "But I'm doing all this other stuff."
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
So just listen, right?
Listen. Yeah.
Listen, and when you speak, right? Because not everybody can handle a stern voice.
Mm-hmm.
Things in moderation.
Mm. And why I don't like that stern voice? I mean,
Yeah, no. You do that at work. Don't bring it here, right?
yeah, you do that at work, and if we're not careful, if you was the boss at work, don't try to come to my home and try to boss me
Yeah,
around.
don't bring it here. This is a home, right? That sort of stuff. So you have to be mindful of that, and you always have to. And for the guys, there's always there's a saying: put your mind in gear before putting your mouth into operation. Right? Right. So when you speak in moderation, speak in such a way that it diffuses the situation.
Okay.
No, not that it diffuses it, that it doesn't create a situation.
Create a situation where you can't diffuse it. Okay.
Where you can't diffuse it. Right. So those were, and the reason why I say this is because in my previous life, I was in a similar situation where I thought I was doing good. Right. And it came down to the simple things that weren't there that caused it to fail. Right. So when I and I was also told at the time that I should get counseling. So I said, well, let's do it together. Well, the response I got, I don't need it, you do. Right. So
you're not the only one on that island.
Right. So that didn't end well.
Okay.
Right. So when we went to our pastor and we said, because I wanted this to work, and I realized that there was a communication problem because my wife is saying something, I'm saying something, but none of us is hearing it.
Okay.
We're not hearing anything. We're just hearing what we say, right? We're not listening, right? So, and we said, you know what, we would prefer to have a faith-based counseling because we would prefer it that way. And it came down to the point where it goes, we want a man versus a woman. I was like, I really don't care because my idea is they're gonna be, you know what I mean?
You just want to help.
Yeah, we just need the help. So I was quite open to that. And when you came on board and your approach was, well, let's fix forward. Right?
Right.
Now, some people are not ready to fix forward. Yeah. Some people have to go back in the past.
Right?
So I was ready to fix forward, right? Okay. So I came in with that intent to fix forward, right? So when I got all the information, I took that and I turned it into something, right? That was good. That I can now, when she speaks, I just listen. Before I respond, I make sure that it's already diffused if it's going to get heated, right? And then go from there. Tones changed. You listen with like courtesy, you do that, all that. And that's how I saw the gaps after I spoke with you or we had our sessions, right? And it was enough to get me started.
It's a journey.
It's a journey. And as I've always said, it's a work in progress.
Yes.
But, we have to build. Right.
And still building, actually Marina had a testimonial too that I had posted about, and she actually mentioned that about fixing forward. And, we realize, and I've always said, where you are now or where you are now, it's what has happened in the past that got you to where you are now. So let's not dive back there because there's triggers back there. There's hurtful feelings back there. There's regrets and everything that's back there. But let's start off from today and let's move forward because it's like you said, it's future focused, right? It's on the present and trying to help the individuals, in most cases, the couples, move forward. So you mentioned something in our early conversation about understanding your partner, and I'll bring up that scripture that actually mentioned that. So
Yeah.
how did that really change for you? Because you mentioned one thing you'd learn is from your perspective is just learning to understand your partner. Is that understanding the way she feels, understanding the way she thinks, understanding what her wants and her needs are? Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. It's a matter of just stepping back,
Okay.
despite what may be going on around you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And just listening, right? Just be the listener and just hear what she said, because we can always listen but never hear, or we
Right.
think we do,
Right.
right? So my thing is I had to step back, despite how hectic things were. I had to step back and then listen, and the way I measure that is the way I respond,
Okay.
right? So when I spoke, it was more of a caring nature.
Nice. Okay.
Caring.
Ladies and gentlemen, caring nature.
Yeah. Right.
Mm.
It's not that, you know,
Go ahead.
and you have to say, and it's coming from a good place, because it can be perceived as a battle cry.
Right.
Right. So you have to make sure you call it out and articulate in such a way that that it's felt, because that's the core stuff. You have to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't feel it, and she's told me, I don't feel like I'm being loved. And it doesn't
Okay.
matter what I do. If I bring your coffee, I give you $1 million, I
Right.
still don't feel love.
Don't feel love.
Yeah.
Marie, so how is that feeling now though? Before I go back to Ben, you said that's what you used to say before now. How is that feeling love coming in, even as you got to learn to love yourself?
Yeah, that's why I said I could come now and hug, because first time he said I'm aggressive, because I feel like I can come and I want to pinch, I want to bite, I want to do all kind of, and he's like, first time he was like, "Ah!" But now I can come and I could do it now, and he's
Oh,
like,
that's so
he
beautiful. That's
he didn't trust me first, because he think I'm angry, I'm gonna hurt him. So when I squeeze,
Yeah, you were an angry bird. Yeah, you were.
so I think I was doing it to hurt him when I come over, but I
No,
wasn't doing it to hurt you.
I didn't see you were doing it to hurt me. I think you just look angry.
so it's more of an appealing look now. It's not the angry look like
Yeah. And once I see it, and so the way I measure that is, once I see it, I just remind her, oh, you're going back to the wrong place.
You're going
You're going back to the wrong place. We don't want to be here. Right? We got to be.
What was causing that push from your end though, Ben? Hear it from the men. What was causing that push? Because she wanted to hug and just to come up beside you, but from what you're saying, it's like you're pushing her away, right?
It didn't feel that way.
Oh,
It's more of a feel. It has to, because remember, you also have to understand your love language, right?
Okay.
And mine is feel and touch. Hers is feel and touch. And then there's also communication. And communication is not just speaking, right? It's how you look. It's what you do, what you say, right? So if you're coming here, I'm gonna give you a hug and you look angry. I'm already on defense mode, right? I'm not gonna. No, that doesn't look right. So and I've always said, if I don't feel it, it's probably not there, right?
Okay, so she's coming at you. So she was feeling it, but you weren't feeling it.
Well, yeah, not with the expression. I think when you're, as you said, if I'm coming to her with a, and I'm an angry face, she goes, I don't feel that love, man. Back up. Okay. So it's the same thing with guys, right? We feel that too. We don't feel the love. No, we're not going down that path.
I hear you. So now that you're at a good place now, what is your approach now to her? So she's mentioned, she's coming, she'll come beside you and hug you. So how is that now where you're concerned? Do you have that approach now where you can just gradually go and hug her from behind now and really, really feel felt as you're hugging her and really feel loved? How is that now from your perspective now?
In all honesty, yes. I've always felt that I could do that because I know me, right? Okay. But now I'm more comfortable to do it, right? Because I feel that she truly loves me now.
Okay.
Right. So it feels different. Right. So I will do that, over and over again, because now I
Mm,
feel it. If I didn't feel it, I'm just shutting down.
okay. And you've been married, and both you've been married for how many years? Let the folks know how many years you've been married.
What, 6 years?
6.
6 years?
6 years?
Yeah.
No.
And for those who, like, we started late, right? Right.
Okay.
So we started in our 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we were in relationship
We
before.
knew each other long before that,
Okay.
right? But we only came together and got married in our 50s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's never too late. Whether it's the 40s, whether it's the 50s, whether it's the 60s. I
Doesn't
read about individuals getting married when they're
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
So, love doesn't have a number on it.
Age. Yeah. It doesn't have a number.
Doesn't have a number. You mentioned something earlier. I just want to go over there. It's a scripture actually with
Hmm.
the conversation that you had here, and you had mentioned earlier when we were talking about now I'm understanding my wife, and automatically, and I've read the scripture in past shows also before, but for those that might be listening for the first time, it's that scripture is found in First Peter chapter 3 and verse 7. It says, "Likewise, your husbands dwell with them according to knowledge." And as we were having a conversation before, dwell with them according to knowledge is exactly what you said. Now you've got to know your wife. She's got to know you. You know her quirks now. You know her triggers.
Yeah.
You, from what you're saying now, you're more aware of who she is and actually who she's becoming. And by doing that now, as the
Yeah.
word goes on, now you can give more honor onto her. It's like everything lined up. If I
Yeah.
get to know her, then I
Yeah.
can really honor her
Mm.
like I can really do.
Yeah.
The Bible said, as unto I honor my wife as unto the
Yeah.
weaker vessel. So beautiful. I love the transformation that's taken place from the beginning to the end. We were there for a couple months or so.
Yes.
You folks have showed up. You folks are committed. And for those that's listening, sometimes it takes a while to come up and have those conversations before somebody that you might even know, because I did not know Ben and Marie before until somebody referred them to me. But in just a very short time, within that hour, 15, 20 minutes, whatever, we could feel that there was a connection. And so it's beautiful to feel that when we're dealing with people. Otherwise, we're wasting one another's time if you're not buying into this thing.
Yeah.
And you were here because you wanted to change. People
Right.
come, whether it's coaching, counseling, whatever. They come because I'm tired of being in where I am.
Yeah.
I want to change.
Right.
So I really thank you folks for coming in tonight.
Yeah.
So give one last words out there, each of you. Ben, send a message out to those men that are out there listening. And then I'm going to get Marie to send a message out to those ladies, those wives that are listening out there.
One word. Let me see.
One word. It could be
One word.
not necessarily a word.
Negotiation.
Negotiation.
Yes.
Okay. So with negotiation comes compromise, does it?
No. If you negotiate, it's a win-win.
If you negotiate, okay.
You win-win.
Negotiate's a win-win.
Yeah, compromise is not a win-win.
You're right. Let's look at compromise from a different perspective.
Sure.
When we compromise, you don't get everything that you want.
Exactly.
She doesn't get everything that she wants, but you get what's best for the relationship.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's the other.
That's the other spin on it. Yes.
The other spin on that, right?
Yeah.
Because if we can't have a win-win, we're going to negotiate. Compromise.
Compromise. Yeah.
So that you might not get everything, she might not, but hey,
but
at the end of the day, we want to ride the bicycle.
We win. Yeah.
At the end of the day, we win.
Exactly.
We win.
Yeah.
Marie, we win, Marie. Send the message out to those wives, Marie.
Okay, to those wives out there,
one word.
Okay.
A word or sentence.
Another word from me.
Okay.
Wives, I would say know your value.
Okay.
And do not settle for less. Whatever is happening, do not feel free to talk to somebody. Silent kills. Do not do it alone. Trust into somebody if you can find, if you're not a Christian, you can find a family member.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're a Christian, go to somebody who you can trust. It's not
Mm.
everyone you can go and tell your story. But I would tell you, because if I was staying silent, we wouldn't have been here today.
Okay.
Silent. We make decision what is not good. So
Mhm.
this is my word to, and do not resent. Don't build up hatred.
Okay.
That is also not good for a relationship.
Absolutely.
So if you know what you're, and be truthful to yourself. So
Mm.
if you want the relationship or not. So don't waste time. So if you know you want something to build, because that's the only way Bonita can help you. That's the only way you can help, because if we want something, we come and you're here to help. So seek help. That's my word to you. Be truthful. If you
Be.
want it, fight for it.
Mm. I like that. If you want it, you have to fight. If you want it, you have to take some actions. You folks
Take
took
some
some
action.
actions.
Yes.
I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that you spent the time. I'm glad that you came in with the mindset that we want something to change. That's the
Yes.
whole purpose. We
Yes.
cannot continue, because what folks don't realize, if we had continued, or if you had continued as you were on that path before, really, what would have been the consequence?
I know what would be. I don't know if he knows.
We would,
I just want folks to know that
yeah, we would have
you're not
separated.
happy. You're not happy. You're
Yeah.
arguing. You're arguing. You're resentful. There's anger that's there, that's being
Yeah.
built up. Nothing's moving forward. So
Yeah.
if this behavior keeps up week after week, year after year, what is the consequence of that?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's separation for sure.
We were living in this. We live in the same house, but we weren't really basically apart.
Yeah, it would have been a separation.
So we would finally have to go our separate way.
Okay, and that's the consequence, and that's
Yes.
just what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. That's what I'd like for folks to hear, is
Yeah.
that if you don't get help,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
stay in an unhappy situation
Yeah.
when there is help out there for you?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's
And,
help.
and in order to get that help, sometimes you're going to have to drop your pride. You're going to have to drop your ego, and you're just going to have to, can I put it plain? You're just going to have to shut up and put up
Yeah.
if you want to see change in your
Yeah.
life, along with the word of God. And,
Yeah.
I appreciate you folks for coming on tonight. I was going to have a session after this about decision-making relationship. So those that are listening, I'll have that on the program next week. We'll finish up with that part. So Maureen and Ben, I appreciate you folks for taking that time to come in tonight, just to share your testimonial, also the change that's taking place, and to let folks know out there is help out there. So thank you again once more.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
And I am your host, folks, as you might already know, Bonitto Grange, your relationship and life coach. I'm here to help couples to stop struggling and get back to cuddling, to stop just loving and to get back to being in love, to stop living as roommates and now begin to live as soulmates or as lovers as you were intended to be. So you can check out my website at tlcbonitogrange.com. And there's information there that you can contact with me. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day. God bless each and every one of you. And by the way, there's a lot of faith-based couples that I do coach, but you don't have to be a Christian, or it doesn't necessarily have to be a faith-based. So I just want folks to know that out there. You might come in as a couple, you're male and female, and from there we can take things from where you're at. So thank God for each and every one of you. God bless, Marie. We will talk again.